Hello there, fellow humans, and welcome to this video. And today I want to talk about Wargaming and also the channel. So we're going to start off with the important part, and that's the channel. Now, I'm going to continue to make Blitz videos, obviously, but I am in the process of getting a new PC. So for that, I'll make some videos on other channels, or my second channel. Link to that is in the description. Would be very happy if you do check that out. I might also post a video of building the PC there, so definitely do check that out as well. So obviously, we're going to talk about what's happening to Blitz and what might happen, because obviously in the end, whatever happens is going to happen. That's how life goes. Now, Wargaming has decided to pull out of Russia and Belarus, which is a very good decision, because obviously having bald men with tiny penises do dumb things is not a very nice idea, and having then those leaders add themselves to the list of people that should have been drowned in their own piss when they were 5 years old isn't really countries that you want to affiliate yourself with. But then again, you do have the problem of, if you don't want to conduct business in a company that do any human rights violations, then congratulations, you've now gone out of business, probably. So that's not great, but overall, Wargaming has done the right decision here, in terms of a marketing side at least, and they have saved some face there. Now, it is very likely, though, that Leicester Studio, which is Wargaming as well, it's basically Leicester Studios was owned by Wargaming, and it was also called Wargaming St. Petersburg. So basically, they split that, and now Belarusian and Russian servers and operations are owned by that former part of Wargaming. Now, the company Wargaming is no longer affiliated with it and will not profit of that, but I do think it is highly likely that the owners of Wargaming are also the same, and will continue to be the same of that studio and of Wargaming. So probably not going to be much changes there. Now, what is going to happen to Blitz? Now, it is highly likely that there are going to be massive delays in updates, not the ones that are already built, because obviously most of the time when the update comes out, it's already ready for a month or two. So I do think that one or two updates are still going to happen, most likely. But future update and future development, I think, is going to be limited for a while, because Wargaming has closed the biggest studio, which is in Minsk, in Belarus. So that is going to have some significant impact. I don't know how much of that studio was developing thanks to Blitz, but because it's the biggest one, I think it's relatively safe to assume that at least some development of Blitz was done there. And that's not good for the game. Now, obviously, it's not in a immediate need for updating, but I think it's going to be fine. What I'm noticing, though, is that there's a lot more offers in the shop, I think. Which might be that Wargaming is trying to make up for some losses, because obviously they're going to... Basically, the company Wargaming is going to lose significantly from basically splitting a part of itself off and not associating themselves with that. But overall, I don't think it's going to have that massive impact on the game. However, it's going to have a significant impact on the servers, because while the EU, NA, and the Asia servers are still going to be owned by Wargaming, the biggest server, the RU server, is not going to be anymore. Now, how much money there is to make is probably highly questionable, because obviously when you have a currency that is worth less than toilet paper, you probably can't afford Pixel Tank either. And I don't think that there is going to be much to be made there. Essentially, the important part here is Wargaming has obviously published a statement. You can also look it up on the Discord server. Weirdly enough, they haven't put it into the game itself, which is a bit weird. But yeah. Now, the important sentence here is, going forward in all other countries, Wargaming will continue to operate World of Tanks as before. The game servers will be operating as usual, and players' accounts as well as the in-game property accumulated through purchases and any other means will remain unchanged. That is the important part for you here, obviously, because to you it's not going to have any effect when you're just playing the game casually, which, to be honest, most people do, and given the average player skill, that has to be the case. Now, obviously, Wargaming is going to get severe damage from this, but they're going to get a couple of PR points, so congratulations, Wargaming. And overall, it's probably going to not be that big of a deal to the player. Which, I mean, Wargaming has done a great job of making the player base as stupid as possible to not make them notice anything, because obviously if you just play a game casually, you probably don't care what's going on with it, with politics and whatever, with the game and around it. So they have done a great job of making themselves a very large casual player base as well, that they are very unlikely to lose, even if they do a lot of, well, things that aren't really good, like sell crates and stuff like that. But that's another thing. Wargaming, you've done a good thing right there, you know, but now it's your time to reform yourself, to become a better person, you know, to grow and rise up from your shadow and stop selling crates, you know, for example. But, I mean, they're not going to do that because they're probably going to even sell more crates because they'll be like, yeah, we're making losses, Wargaming's making so much losses, we got to make up for that, here's some crates. Yeah, that's probably more likely to happen, which is... Can you not do that, maybe? So, yeah. That's going to be a problem, I think, for Blitz. That... Is it going to die? I wouldn't expect it to die within the next 2 or 3 years, at least. So that's already something nice. The game is, as of its moment, relatively balanced, relatively fine. The biggest problem is obviously that Wargaming has not done enough to either allow players that care a better game experience or make players actually play somewhat acceptably rather than camping in the back with the 100. So obviously not being good at the game is perfectly fine, but ruining others' day at the game is obviously not great. But then again, Wargaming hasn't banned trolls and all that stuff in the past because obviously that troll can still spend money. So I would not expect anything to change there, and the game itself is going to continue to be somewhat dubious. But one thing has to be said about Blitz is that it is, for a mobile game, it is not that predatory for a mobile game, because a lot of mobile games, they have no game experience in that sense. It's simply you pay and that's all the thing you have. You just pay and then you're just nothing. So in Blitz, I think the game experience is still relatively decent in terms of how bad it could be. So I do think that that's fine. And Wargaming has done a somewhat okay job there to not make them descend lower than at least the second lowest circle of hell. And it would be nice to not go into the worst one as well and join EA down there, which that would be a bit sad. But yeah. Anyway, let me win this real quick. Not. Yeah. Now obviously it's a game. It's supposed to be fun. If you're not having fun, stop. That's, I think, the most important thing. If you're not having fun, just stop. If you don't like what Wargaming is doing, stop. You know, it's your decision. What you do with the information, what you do with what's happening, that is all your decision, and yours only. And I'm not gonna tell you, oh, stop playing the game, stop whatever. I'm not gonna tell you that because I'm not gonna stop as of now. But if you don't like Blitz anymore, if you don't want to play the game, then it's obviously way within your right to stop. And but you shouldn't stop watching my videos because they're good. Maybe. Anyway, no, they're not. But thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one. Goodbye.